Imagine a life where you remain calm and collected, no matter what life throws your way. Picture yourself moving through your day, encountering challenges, surprises, and even setbacks, yet maintaining a sense of peace and stability. It's not that you don't care, but rather that you've mastered the art of staying unbothered by the chaos around you. Today, we're going to explore something that has the potential to completely change the way you experience life: the art of acting as if nothing bothers you. But before we dive into the strategies and techniques, let me ask you this. What if the key to a more peaceful life isn't about avoiding stress or removing obstacles, but about changing how you respond to them? What if peace of mind is more about how you choose to experience life, rather than trying to control the world around you? Let me take you back to a time in my life where every little thing seemed to get under my skin. The traffic, the endless to-do lists, the unexpected changes, it all felt overwhelming. There were days when it seemed like everything was conspiring to disrupt my peace. Whether it was a delayed meeting, a snappy comment from someone, or simply not finding a parking spot, I found myself constantly on edge. I used to think that the only way to find peace was to somehow control everything around me, to make my environment perfectly calm and predictable. But as you might guess, that never worked. Trying to control every aspect of my life only added to the frustration, because life, as we all know, is unpredictable. I remember a specific day when everything that could go wrong did go wrong. I was late for an important meeting, spilled coffee on my shirt, and then got caught in a rainstorm without an umbrella. By the time I reached the office, I was drenched, frustrated, and ready to snap at the first person who crossed my path. But then something clicked. I realized that my day had gone off the rails not because of the events themselves, but because of how I was reacting to them. The rain, the coffee, the traffic, they were all outside of my control. But my frustration, my stress, and my anger, those were within my control. And that's when I began to explore a different approach, a mindset that doesn't just brush off life's challenges, but instead embraces them with a sense of calm and clarity. It's not about pretending that nothing bothers you, but about truly understanding that you have the power to choose how you respond to anything. And that choice, as simple as it sounds, is incredibly powerful. So how do we do this? How do we cultivate a mindset where we act as if nothing bothers us? The answer lies in a blend of mindfulness, self-awareness, and a deep understanding of the transient nature of our experiences. It's about developing the ability to step back, observe our thoughts and feelings, and decide how we want to engage with them. Let's start with a foundational concept. Everything in life is temporary. Our emotions, our thoughts, our experiences, they're all like ripples on the surface of a lake. And just like ripples, they eventually fade away. This is something that's easy to understand intellectually, but much harder to live by. We all know that feelings come and go, yet in the moment, it can feel like our emotions are all-consuming. But once you start recognizing this transient nature, you can begin to let go of the urgency to react to every little thing. Imagine your mind as a calm, clear lake. When something happens that bothers you, it's like a stone being thrown into that lake, creating ripple. Now, if you keep throwing stones, if you keep reacting to those initial ripples, they'll never settle. But if you allow those ripples to pass without feeding them with more reactions, the water will naturally return to its calm state. This is a powerful metaphor for life. When we learn to see our emotions and reactions as temporary, we begin to realize that our sense of being bothered is not a fixed reality, but a state of mind and change. It's not about denying your emotions or pretending they don't exist. It's about acknowledging them, letting them pass, and not getting caught up in them. Let's break this down with an example. Think about the last time something really bothered you. Maybe it was an argument with a friend, a mistake you made at work, or a situation where you felt misunderstood. How long did that feeling last? An hour? Day? Maybe even a week? But eventually, it passed. The intensity of that emotion faded, and you moved on to other things. The key is to remember that these feelings are like those ripples. They're temporary, and they only have power over you if you keep feeding them. One way to remind yourself of this is by practicing the art of detachment. This doesn't mean you become indifferent or emotionally numb. Rather, it means you develop the ability to take a step back from your immediate emotional reactions. When something bothers you, instead of immediately diving into the feeling, take a moment to pause. Ask yourself, will this matter in a day, a week, a year? Often, you'll find that the things that seem overwhelming in the moment are much less significant when viewed from a broader perspective. Consider the wisdom of ancient philosophers like the Stoics, who believed in the power of perspective. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote beautifully encapsulates the idea that our reactions, not external events, determine our peace of mind. When you adopt this perspective, you begin to see that the things that bother you only have as much power as you give them. Mindfulness and self-awareness are your best tools for navigating life's challenges. But what exactly does that mean? Let's break it down. Mindfulness is about being fully present in the moment, observing what's happening without judgment. It's about noticing those ripples in the water, your thoughts, your emotions, without immediately reacting to them. Instead of getting swept up in the waves, you step back and observe them. This can be as simple as taking a few deep breaths and bringing your attention to the present moment. When you do this, you create space between the stimulus, whatever it is that's bothering you, and your response to it. In that space lies your power to choose how you want to respond. For example, let's say you're stuck in traffic, and you feel the frustration bubbling up. Your first instinct might be to honk the horn, mutter under your breath, or feel your stress levels rise. But what if, instead of letting that frustration take over, you paused? You take a deep breath and acknowledge that, yes, this situation is frustrating. But then you remind yourself, this feeling is just a ripple. It will pass. You can choose to focus on your breathing, listen to some calming music, or simply accept that this is where you are right now, and there's nothing you can do to change it. By shifting your focus from the frustration to something more neutral or positive, you diffuse the emotional charge and maintain your peace of mind. Self-awareness is another crucial component. It's about understanding the patterns of your mind. It's about recognizing when and why certain things bother you, and being able to step back and choose a different response. It's the difference between reacting automatically and responding thoughtfully. One of the best ways to develop self-awareness is through reflection. Take time at the end of each day to think about the moments when you felt bothered. What triggered those feelings? How did you respond? And most importantly, how could you have responded differently? This doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out process. Even spending just 5 minutes at the end of the day can make a big difference. Over time, as you reflect on your experiences, you'll start to notice patterns. You might discover that certain situations or people consistently trigger a negative response in you. Once you're aware of these patterns, you can start to address them. For example, if you find that you often feel irritated when you're interrupted at work, you might reflect on why that bothers you. Perhaps it's because you feel disrespected, or because it disrupts your focus. Once you understand the root cause, you can start to develop strategies to manage your response. Maybe you can set clearer boundaries with your coworkers, or maybe you can work on letting go of the need to always be in control of your work environment. The more self-aware you become, the more empowered you are to make choices that support your peace of mind. Over time, as you become more mindful and self-aware, you'll start to notice a shift. The things that once triggered you will begin to lose their power. You'll find that you're able to navigate through life's challenges with a sense of calmness and clarity that you never thought possible. It's important to remember that this is a gradual process. You won't wake up one day and suddenly be immune to life's challenges. But with consistent practice, you'll start to see changes. Let's talk about how to actually choose a different response when something bothers you. This is where the real work happens, and where you can start to see real changes in your life. Imagine you're having a good day, and then suddenly, something unexpected happens, like getting caught in the rain without an umbrella. Your initial reaction might be frustration or annoyance. Maybe you're thinking about how your clothes will get wet, or how this wasn't part of your plan for the day. But what if, instead of letting those thoughts take over, you paused and reminded yourself, this is just a moment. It doesn't have to ruin my day. What if you chose to see the rain as an opportunity to practice staying calm, or even as a reminder to slow down and enjoy the moment? This shift in perspective is powerful because it turns what could have been a negative experience into a neutral or even positive one. Another technique is to practice gratitude in the moment. Let's say you're in a situation where someone's actions or words have upset you. Instead of immediately reacting, take a moment to think about something you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be related to the situation, just anything that brings you a sense of peace or joy. This simple act of shifting your focus from what's bothering you to something you're grateful for can have a profound impact on your state of mind. Now, let's address one more thing: the importance of self-compassion in this process. It's easy to get frustrated with yourself when you slip up, when you let something bother you more than you'd like, or when you react in a way that you later regret. But it's important to remember that this is a journey, and it's okay to stumble along the way. The goal isn't to become perfect, it's to become more aware and more intentional in your responses. When you do find yourself reacting to something in a way that you wish you hadn't, don't beat yourself up. Instead, use it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Ask yourself what triggered that reaction and how you might respond differently next time. This kind of self-compassion is crucial because it allows you to keep moving forward without getting stuck in self-criticism or regret. To wrap up, let's summarize the key points we've covered today. 1. Understand the temporary nature of your emotions. Everything in life, including your feelings, is temporary. This perspective helps you see that what bothers you now will eventually pass. 2. Practice detachment. Learn to step back from your immediate emotional reaction. This doesn't mean you stop caring, but rather that you choose not to be controlled by your emotions. 3. Develop mindfulness and self-awareness. These are your most powerful tools for staying unbothered. Mindfulness helps you stay present, while self-awareness helps you understand and change your patterns of reaction. 4. Choose a different response. When something bothers you, pause and consider how you want to respond. Practice gratitude, shift your perspective, and remember that you have the power to choose your reaction. 5. Practice self-compassion. Be gentle with yourself as you navigate this journey. It's okay to make mistakes. It's all part of the process. By integrating these practices into your daily life, you'll start to experience a profound shift. You'll find that the things that used to bother you no longer have the same impact. You'll move through your days with a greater sense of peace, clarity, and resilience. And most importantly, you'll discover that you have the power to create a life where you truly feel unbothered by the chaos around you. It's not about escaping life's challenges, but about learning how to navigate them with grace and ease. So the next time something happens that would normally upset you, take a deep breath, remember these principles, and act as if nothing bothers you. Because in that moment, you're choosing peace over chaos, calm over stress, and wisdom over impulse.